While you were sleeping, as expected, Laura made landfall near Cameron, Louisiana as a Category 4 hurricane. Now, this is a look from just north of there in Lake Charles at about 1 this morning when the eye of the storm made landfall. You can see the sheets of rain flowing sideways, and you can hear the howling winds. The National Hurricane Center is urging people in the storm's path to treat the winds as if a tornado was approaching and get into a safe room. It is a very scary situation along the coast as we join you this morning. Good morning. I am Karen Borda, and we are streaming live on CBSN Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, as I mentioned, Laura made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane with sustained winds of 150 miles per hour. Now, in the last 30 minutes, it was downgraded to a Category 3 with winds now at 120. But the eye reached Cameron Parish, Louisiana, just before 1 a.m. At least 150 people there refused to evacuate, even with the warning that the storm surge would be catastrophic and unsurvivable. It is the strongest storm ever to hit southwest Louisiana, and it ties with a storm in 1856 for the second strongest to ever hit the state. We want to get over to Annalise now. She's got a look at where the storm is now. And Annalise, as expected, Laura's going to go down as a historic storm, and therefore that name is going to be retired, right?
Yeah, I would fully expect it to be, Karen. And as we're taking a look at that latest radar loop, you can see that that eye wall is still very well defined. It has been slowly drifting off almost due north at about 15 miles per hour. So that eye wall now just to the north of Lake Charles, and we're going to continue to watch that northeast quadrant where the strongest winds would be, where some of that dangerous rainfall will be as well, heavy rain. But certainly the winds will be the focus here. And this is just going to continue to slowly weaken as it does encounter land. And of course, that friction will be enough to kind of weaken this storm as well. So we're keeping an eye on this. But as Karen did mention, Hurricane Laura did make landfall right around 1 a.m. So this forecast that the National Hurricane Center put out was just spot on. From timing to track the area that it's impacting, it is exactly the area that they were predicting, right along the Texas-Louisiana border. We always talk about the right side of the storm being the strongest, and that's why the brunt of the storm is going to continue to impact Louisiana. Even in these outer bands, we're seeing tornado warnings through this morning, so we're going to be watching places even as far out as Alexandria, even close to Baton Rouge, where there could be some quick spin-up tornadoes. But right now, all eyes on this hurricane as it is still a Category 3 storm, maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour. And through the morning, still talking about some warnings out there. We've got hurricane warning extending from right around the coast, Port Arthur, all the way up through the state of Louisiana, through West Louisiana. Tropical storm warnings, those actually last all the way through Arkansas for tonight, as we're talking about tropical storm force winds of up to 40 miles per hour. So 120 mile per hour winds right now, moving off to the north at 15 miles per hour. On the ground, close to the storm, really close to the eye wall, we've had storm chaser Jason McLaughlin out around Newton, Texas. Wow, Jason, what do you have there from Newton?
And it's just from those strong winds circulating around this northwest side of the eye wall. It just demolished, just took the whole top off and the front off of this two-story building that was down here. Brick structure, so the bricks are kind of scattered all over the road and everywhere. The crews are out here. Every once in a while, you'll see someone run out of one of the city buildings, in this case, the courthouse, to throw a couple cones down to try to warn people as they were coming through. So that's happened. We've got a couple roofs off of other things here in town as well, and quite a bit of tree damage. And, you know, it's nighttime. It's 4:30 here in the morning now, and, you know, I think once the winds settle down and sunrise comes up, we're going to see a whole lot more in the way of damage very similar to that.
Yeah, Jason, what's so amazing, I mean, you've been there for hours now, and you've seen some of these powerful winds for hours. We talked about that, just the duration of these types of winds. Any idea what the wind speeds around you have been in the past hour or so?
I would say I've probably had, I think actually right now it's probably about the strongest. I've had guys probably estimated 90 to 95 miles per hour. Sustained on the order, I'd say roughly around probably 60 to 70. And it kind of comes in waves, so it's not constant. We'll get these big bursts of wind like I just had, and then we'll get it, it stops. Then we get the big burst again, and then it stops. But it's those big bursts, those big gusts that, they only last 2 or 3 seconds, but they're the ones that are really doing most of the damage.
Absolutely. Well, hey, be careful, Jason. Let us know if there's anything out there we need to see, but mainly be careful. And thank you so much for your efforts there, just showing us some of the debris that we're already seeing. And of course, it's still dark out, Karen.
Yes, it sure is. Boy, it's going to be interesting when the sun comes up. Annalise, thank you.